She liked her decision or whatnot.
We'll probably at some point go off to do the on stage and come back. We're going to go and do the on-stage interview, but we'll be back in a sec.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Seeing the film actually reach the fans now.
Oh, it's so fun. Yeah, I mean, because I saw it, I think, in early February, so I've just been like, I can't wait for people to actually see it and to have this like really fun experience that I had. So.
How involved were you? Did you get much to say in the trailers?
I have a really good relationship with the people who are working on it, with Neil Berger and with the producers, and so I tried to be available to them if they had questions, and Neil Berger had questions, very detailed questions. So we had a really good working relationship. Mostly I was working on the third book in the series at the time, so I tried to just give it to people I trusted and see what they did. You know, they make movies, I don't make movies. So.
What kind of questions do you like?
Oh, things like, how does commerce work? Like, would there be intermingling, like on the streets of faction people? Do they talk to each other? You know, like just kind of getting a sense of like what he could show in the background that would be true to the world. And he was just very concerned with all the little details of its realization. Very impressive.
And do you think fans are going to recognise the world as being like, How similar, how different is it?
I think it's definitely, it feels very familiar, and it also feels like a rediscovery of the book. I mean, for me, I've read it how many times and wrote it, obviously. So, it can feel a little like, okay, when you wrote it, when you read it. But when I saw the movie, it was like the first time, like rediscovering it for the first time.
And in terms of Shailene and Theo, are they how you imagined this unfolding?
They're so good. Yeah, they're amazing. They have a really great chemistry, and also the relationship as it's portrayed on the screen is showing this like slow build and this mutual respect forming, and I think that's very true to Tristan.
Oh my god.
So Veronica, we're going to do on stage.
I'm good. It's Mother's Day. Do people know that?
Have you done anything for them?
Yeah, I had brunch with my mum, and now she's coming here. I'm bringing her and my granny and my aunt. It's like anyone who's a part of my family is coming because it's Mother's Day. Where's your mum?
My mum, I still hang it.
Okay.
But I've been wanting to ask everyone, what's the best advice your mum gives you?
Ooh, the best advice my mum's ever given me is stop showing off. Or have some more vitamin C. Or you're tired, you need to go to bed. And probably all at the same time.
No, this is a brilliant film and a brilliant thing to be a
Yeah.
part of. And the young adult, the whole genre is so amazing at the moment, so strong.
Yeah.
What was it about Divergent that made it unique?
Well, for me, it's that idea of young people choosing their future. I think it's a world that Veronica creates in the books and then is kind of transposed onto film, which I got so excited about when I read that script because it's nothing that I'd ever read before, and it creates this world which is really exciting.
Did you have to do much training?
Yeah, we did 3 weeks of kind of stunt training boot camp, and that was a lot of work, but it was great because we got to bond as a group and got to kind of be in that situation already as young people and slowly kind of sweating together and going through it together. So it was great when we started filming, we had that in our back pocket.
There was quite a lot about being brave and courageous as part of the film. What's the bravest thing that you had to do as part of this project?
As part of this project, do an American accent probably. That was the hardest and bravest thing I've ever had to do. And hopefully I pulled it off. Hopefully I conquered my fear.
And one more question. I know that Shailene's got a bit of a survivalist interest.
Yes.
Did you talk to her about that? Did you get any tips from her?
Oh yeah, you can get life tips from Shay 24/7 because she's got everything worked out to a T, from her diet to what she drinks to what she uses for her toothpaste and soap. So it's all good. Thank you. Nice to meet you. We check.
I did as many stunts as I possibly could. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of fun. Getting a chance to rise up to that She liked her decision or whatnot. She yeah, it was really fun. I've never been done this before, and it's Hi, how are you? I'm Shay. How are you? We just take this and left it out, that way I can stand. Still McCartney.
Now I've heard that you almost didn't take the job.
Yeah.
What was worrying you? Why did you say yes?
I was a little bit daunted by the fact that it was a franchise because franchises, they require a lot of work, and not work, but just new things can come with them that you don't necessarily expect, like lack of anonymity and whatnot. And I wasn't sure that that's what I wanted. But after talking to a lot of my mentors, it seemed I loved the storyline and I loved the character, and I was like, I can't make this decision based on fear of what could happen. I have to make it from a creative place.
And what are you doing to protect yourself from things like that?
It's not necessarily anything to protect myself against it or for it. It's more, I just, no matter what happens, I externally, like I know exactly who I am internally. So you sort of get to be the eye of the tornado and like go through it all.
Now, I've heard that you are very strong. I've heard that you've got survivalist interest and things like that. Were you able to draw on any of that interest?
I don't know that I drew on any like survival skills necessarily for her, but yeah, I definitely think the fighter in me was able to come out a little bit, which was fun.
What kind of training did you do
For the role, we did a lot of stunt trainings. We did hand-to-hand combat, fight choreography, basic physical fitness, like hundreds of push-ups.
Now, I know also the film talks a lot about being brave and not giving up and being courageous. What's the bravest thing that you had to do once you finished the film?
I think one of the bravest things I had to do was fight Theo, to be honest, because he's so strong and he's a boxer in real life. And we have a scene at the end where if I didn't duck at the right time or if I didn't dodge one of his punches, I fear I would have actually gotten knocked out.
It's such an amazing, I love the film, and I think the whole genre is very, very strong at the moment. What do you think is the most exciting message for a younger audience that the film has?
So many. I mean, one thing is that you get to watch this young woman, I love this song, you get to watch this young woman who starts out very vulnerable and in a sensitive position become very strong and empowered. And I don't know of a lot of young adult films where you get to watch a heroine become a heroine. Most of the time they're just already, strong by nature. And with Trish, you get to watch her progression, and I think that's sort of a great example of like owning yourself and loving yourself and trusting your own instincts.
And one just a really quick question. What's the most exciting way to meet fans and engage with fans? I know you don't tweet.
Yeah, I think, like at events like this, when you're able to like interact kind of face to face.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm Nikki from Associated
Hi,
Press.
how are
Very
you?
nice
Oh,
to
hey,
meet
nice to meet you.
I've got to stand back a bit after shout. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
How exciting is it to actually be bringing the film to fans now?
It's fantastic. I mean, this is a fantastic scene here with all these people, and so it's after you've been working on a movie for so long, to have this kind of response and welcome is fantastic.
And what was it about this particular story that actually drew you to a young adult movie and that whole, it's a very exciting genre, but what was it about this particular story that made you want to make the film?
Well, I mean, there's two things. One, as a director, it's fantastic to have the chance to make a new world, a future world. And then, really, I just liked what the story was about. I liked that it was about human nature, about who am I and where do I belong, and if I'm different and don't belong anywhere, then what? Do I hide that, or do I try to fit in, or do I speak with my own voice? And if I do, what's the cost?
Now, I know that you were speaking to Veronica about certain details of the film, but how is it much of a departure from the book, or did you stick quite close to the book?
I think it's very close to the book. I think it's very faithful, and there's certain things that have to be changed just because it's a movie, and we can't. She's written this great book that's 400 and some odd pages long, and we're trying to squeeze it down into a 100-page script, and it's still pretty long. But I think that we got it all in, and if we didn't get everything in, we got really the spirit of it in. So,
is there anything in particular, any examples that you can give me, something that you had to lose that perhaps you didn't want to?
We had to lose. Well, as a spoiler, there's a scene where somebody Edward gets a knife in the eye, and we shot it, but it was just, we had to shorten the movie, and that came out.
So what kind of training did you make with your stars do in terms of them thinking that the film, there's a lot about being brave and not giving up? What do you think is the bravest thing that you asked them to do for them?
The bravest thing I asked them to do, there were two things. One was to get on the moving train. All the things, I wanted to shoot everything real and to have them, not to do it on a sound stage. So we had our own train. They had to run along and get on the train that was going really quick and then jump off it. They all did it. And it was, trains are big and dangerous, and but they all climbed on and jumped off. So.
Did they all survive?
Shailene had a bad wipeout, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
She fell on her face. So and got cut and all, and then got up and kept working. So.
More work for the makeup artist?
What's that?
More work for the makeup artist.
A little work for the makeup artist, but she's so beautiful, not much. So.
Well, brilliant luck with the film.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
for the questions.
Organisation.
There you go.
Yeah, Kate and Theo are coming, so I don't know which one will be first.
Very good friend.
Yeah. Two questions.
So there, yeah. Okay, they've got 2 questions.
Very much. Also playing something such as scientific knowledge. That was again something that was just really new. I have to say that when I arrived towards the end of the shoot, I really know Winslet and Jay had created such a wonderful working environment for everybody.
We have
It was just
one good thing.
Thank you very much. We're going to do a group here, Kate.
We're going to do a group.
Yes.
Gather round, for I have news.
We're coming here.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. Oh, I've had flowers, I've had cards, I've had notes, I've had photographs. Yeah, I've been very well looked after.
And how do your older kids feel about you playing this film?
They're really excited. They're very, very excited. They have read the book, so they're really excited to see how the film turns out. And yeah, to see Mum doing something completely different. They haven't actually seen anything really that I've done, to be honest, before. They saw half of Titanic, but that was about it. So this is particularly exciting for them.
And with the timing of Bear's arrival, how did that sort of affect your performance and how you were filming?
Well, I was pregnant when I was shooting. I was nearly 5 months pregnant actually by the end of the shoot, and that was it was definitely challenging being pregnant. Also, it was really hot in Chicago where we were. So yeah, but you know, every mother has to deal with that, and you just get on with it, really, don't you? But yeah, then we had to do 3 days of reshoots actually when Bear was only 6 weeks old, and that was really funny because, you know, I was barely out of my dressing gown, you know, and I just had been in this sort of bubble of baby and not really getting dressed, and you know, just the way it is at the very beginning, and then suddenly to have to go back and play Janine and put the costumes on again, it was like I felt like a marshmallow with broken legs, you know. It was quite funny. But yeah, we made the best of it. Thank you.
I love the message.
I'm gone.
For me, I think what it really is saying is be who you really are, you know, and that was one thing I loved so much when I read the script and read the book. You know, it is very much about being true to yourself, and I think that's the message, and that's what I, as a parent, appreciate, and that's what I hope for my own kids.
I'm so glad you're here.
Of course I'm here. Of course I'm here.
I brought my mum. Is your mum here?
No, my mum isn't here, but I've got a gaggle. I have a gaggle. I always have a gaggle.
Hey, what was about this?
Screaming is something I guess you can't compare.
to prepare for, compare. That would make sense. But yeah, basically, I think it's interesting because I think it is a YA movie essentially. But really, what Neil and the guys have done, which is quite interesting, is they've created an action thriller which sits in that territory, but it also sits kind of independently as a movie on its own, which I think is really powerful. And nothing is dumbed down, nothing is simplified. There's a real intelligence and elegance to it that I believe is there. They love some of them, I guess. Yeah.
I love all of them, but it must be exciting to get involved in that.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely the biggest job I've done, and one of my favourite characters I've ever played. So it is exciting. The only thing you have to remember is that you have been given the job for a specific reason. So you have to be forthright in the way that you essentially feel like you're playing.
Divergent in real life.
Dawn. Yeah. That's me. Sorry.
Hi, Mickey from AP. How are you doing? How are you finding being the new young adult heartthrob?
Good. Interesting. No, I mean, to be honest, it's semi-surreal, but I think also it's great that people are responding to the film, because you really never know what it's going to turn out as. And I think when we watched the film, Shay and I, only a couple of weeks ago when it was 3 or 4 weeks ago when it finally properly finished, we were really pleased because I think it kept a maturity and integrity that we hope would be there, and it is there.
I loved it, and I've only got 2 questions. It's
Cool.
Mother's Day today.
Yes.
What's the best piece
My
of
mum
advice?
is here.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
my
lovely.
mum.
What's the best piece of advice?
She's not in the camera. Best piece of advice about what?
That your mum ever gave you.
Oh, my best piece of advice my mum ever gave me is always, I guess how do you describe it? She's very, never big yourself up, always big yourself down. So, in a good way, be respectful and kind of, even with your achievements, be kind of humble with them.
What do you think the best message of the film is for a young audience?
I think it's about someone realizing that it doesn't matter that they're different in a society. I think today everyone is very easy to be kind of pushed into certain social demographics, and essentially the message of the movie is about someone finding that she's different from everyone else and feels that's a bad thing, but then realizes that inherently it doesn't matter, it's a good thing, and then it becomes a big epic war movie, so it kind of changes a bit.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.